All right, today we're jumping into a source that tells this really powerful story about one world leader's journey. It's a pretty remarkable narrative, so let's get right to it. So it's this incredible contrast, right? You've got helping his dad at a tea stall on one end and leading the world's biggest democracy on the other. It immediately sets the stage for this massive, life-changing journey. Okay, so how do you even get from point A to point B? It all comes down to these three things: resilience, vision, and just relentless hard work. These are the core themes the narrative keeps coming back to, and we're going to see exactly how. First up, we're going back to the very beginning. The source really hones in on these early years, framing them as absolutely foundational to everything that came later. The story pinpoints his hometown, Vadnagar in Gujarat, as the crucible for his character. It's not just a place on a map in this telling, it's where the narrative says his core values of living simply and serving others were really shaped. And this is a really key point in the source material. The story it tells is that his rise had nothing to do with privilege. It wasn't about who his family was, it was all about pure, unadulterated perseverance. Okay, so from those humble beginnings, the story then moves on to his political climb. Let's take a look at how the source maps out his journey from a regional player to a national leader. The source highlights two huge steps here. First, his time as chief minister of Gujarat. This is where, according to the narrative, he built this reputation for being all about development and good governance. And that in turn became the launchpad for his 2014 run for prime minister, where the whole message was about bringing change and growth to the entire country. So once he's prime minister, the story's focus shifts to his vision for India as a whole. And the source we're looking at zeroes in on a few key initiatives. And here's the number that marks that moment. The source points to this as a truly historic event, Narendra Modi taking the oath as India's 14th prime minister. This is the moment that sets the stage for everything that follows in this narrative. All right, so what were those big initiatives? The source points to a few major ones. You've got Make in India, which was all about boosting manufacturing at home. Then there's the Clean India mission, a huge push for sanitation. And of course, a major drive for digital transformation. The whole idea, as the story goes, was that these programs, combined with a strong focus on global diplomacy, were meant to really lift India's standing in the world. But then the source kind of takes a step back from all the policy talk and asks this question, suggesting that, maybe the real takeaway here isn't about politics. Maybe it's something more personal, something inspirational. And that brings us to what this narrative presents as its true core: the power of belief. The idea that this was the real engine driving the entire journey. So, at the end of the day, what's the moral of the story according to this source? It really boils down to these three things: the power of just grinding it out with hard work, the strength of having a clear vision, and maybe most importantly, that unshakable belief in what you're capable of. And that's really the final point the source drives home. Its telling of this story is meant to be an inspiration. The message is that this path can almost be a model for anyone, really, encouraging people to rise up, to lead, and to chase their own dreams, no matter how tough things seem. This really sums it all up, doesn't it? The whole narrative we've been walking through is built on this one powerful idea: small beginnings, big dreams. According to the source, if you want to understand the story, you have to understand this contrast. And we'll leave you with this final thought from the source material, which just perfectly captures that message. No dream is too big and no beginning too small.